Today, we're looking at a purple ink by Noodler's, a part of their V-Mail series, North African Violet. Now, as always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out this entire video. It really does help me out. If you're interested in purple inks, there's a link to that playlist down in the description. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. Let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen. It shades fairly well. Look at how violet goes lighter to darker. African goes darker to lighter to darker. Very nice. The extra fine is largely the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen. Great shading. Quick goes dark to light to dark. Brown goes dark to light. Fox goes light to dark. The is a very dark word. 10 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, a very nice shading. Fox going from light to dark. Brown going from dark to light to dark. Over going from light to dark. 14 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show good color variation, and there is good color variation in the writing. And the smear test, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with this Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then a Platinum 3776 with a broad nib was inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. The next writing sample is done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen. It shades very well on this paper. Look at how Noodler's starts darker, gets lighter, gets darker, gets lighter again at the R, and very dark at the S. Nice. Extra fine is tad bit lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, very good shading as brown goes dark to light to dark. Fox goes light to dark. 16 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, a very nice shading as quick goes dark to light to dark. Brown goes dark to light to dark. Fox goes just light to dark. 23 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show good color variation, and the smear test, and you got it. And the smear test, I believe you could recover this without any difficulty if you smeared while you were writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down, and then it's put into water for 10 to 15 seconds. And look at how much of that ink really stayed in place. The moment it was put on the paper, it bonded with that paper, almost all of it. The one on the right was let dry for 10 minutes, and there's really no change. It really bonds with the paper very quickly, which means I'm expecting quite a bit of resistance here. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen. It shades fairly well. Look at African, how it goes from darker to lighter to very dark at the I to lighter at the A to darker again at the N. Quite nice. The extra fine is a little bit lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, very nice shading. Brown goes dark to light. Fox goes light to dark. Quick goes dark to light to dark. 12 seconds to dry. The medium is just a little lighter than the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, very nice shading. Over going from light to dark. The going from lighter to darker to lighter in the loop of the E and darker back out of it. Fox goes light to dark. 17 seconds to dry. And the scrubby for both show great color variation because this ink has great color variation. The smear test, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, it handles as well as you really would expect it to. No problems at all. I would use it in a note-taking situation if I needed to go back and highlight. Water has very little effect on it, not pulling a ton of it up, really barely moving it, but we expected that from the chromatography. Pen flush is starting to break it down some. Now, I had a little bit of issue inside the converter, and I did use pen flush to get the ink the rest of the way out of the converter, but it only took water to get it out of the nib in the feed. So it's just something to be aware of. I didn't have to work very hard with the pen flush. The 1/3 bleach solution completely obliterates it, but I didn't need it, and you're not going to need it to get it out of your pen. The next writing sample is done on white lines paper. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, and look at the shading that's going on. Look at the dot of the eye, very dark. Violet is much darker than the word African. Extra fine is about the same tone as the stub, with no feather spread, halo sheen, very nice shading. Quick goes dark to light to dark. Brown goes dark to light to dark. 6 seconds to dry. Medium is about the same tone as the extra fine, with no feather spread, halo sheen. It shades very nicely. Quick goes darker to lighter to darker. Brown goes darker to lighter to just a little darker at the end. Fox goes light to dark. 8 seconds to dry. Scrubby for both show good color variation, and we get it. In a smear test, you could definitely recover it if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity is 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Noodler's V-Mail North African Violet has a viscosity of 2.5, making it not just normal, but average. If you're interested in how the viscosity is tested or how the bell curve's made, then there's a link to that video down in the description. Now, let's take a look at Apica CD notebooks. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, nice shading. Look at North's goes from medium to dark to light to dark. So nice. The extra fine is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, very nice shading as quick goes dark to light to dark. The starts light and gets dark. Brown starts dark, gets light, gets dark. 8 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, nice shading. Fox starting light and getting dark. Lazy starting dark and getting light. 11 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show good color variation, which we got. And the smear test, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time was 17 seconds, and the realm of normal was 13 to 21 seconds. Noodler's V-Mail North African Violet has an average dry time of 15 seconds, making it normal. The last writing sample is done on Strathmore writing paper. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine is a little bit lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen or shade, and 7 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 8 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both do show some color variation, but it's not really coming through in the writing. But the smear test, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Instead of finding inks that look like Noodler's V-Mail North African Violet, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I went with a nice black ink by Herbin, their Perle Noire. Now, if you'd prefer a different complement color, then down in the description are links to those playlists. So what do I think of Noodler's V-Mail's North African Violet? There's a lot of tone variation depending on the pen and tons of shading in this blue-leaning purple. I do wish it wasn't as blue-leaning as it is. It still gives great color, though. So what nib and pen give the best writing experience with this ink? A medium to wet pen with a medium nib really put down a very nice tone that keeps some of that purple leaning or that purple tone and doesn't give all of that blue leaning that's there. It also maintains a bunch of shading that this ink has. I hope you got something out of this video, and tomorrow we're going to take a look at Sailor's Soten.